As lockdown measures are easing around the world, lots of businesses are now starting to move back into the workplace. But how can you prepare your technology for post-lockdown? Well, that's the topic for today's video. But before I start, don't forget to like this video. And if you've got any comments, please use the comment box below. Across our customer base, we can see people slowly moving back to work in the office. Of course, when July comes along, this will only increase in the UK as lockdown measures are eased even more. Having spoken to a couple of different customers this week, two attitudes seem to be emerging. The first one is that people think there might be a second wave of this pandemic and we might all be forced into lockdown once again. The second attitude is that lots of customers are now considering not having an office after this pandemic has passed. Working from home, working remotely has really worked for their business, and they can see the cost savings are quite significant. Once upon a time, I think there was a certain stigma about a business who didn't have an office. Perhaps it looked like they weren't big enough or not professional enough. I don't think that is going to be the case moving forward. So if you think that we might get forced into lockdown again, or if your business is considering not having an office after the pandemic, now is a perfect time to review your technology. So here are my top tips for how to set up your business technology post-lockdown. Now my first tip is about having physical servers inside of your office. If your business decides that it doesn't need an office anymore, then now is a good time to get rid of that physical server. Your business might be one of those lucky ones who doesn't need a server at all. But if your business does need a server to run some kind of application, then you should consider moving this to the cloud using a product like Microsoft Azure. Moving your servers to a cloud-based product provides your business with much more flexibility and a great cost model, which will enable your business to have more freedom post-lockdown. Now my second tip is all about file storage and collaboration. At the moment, your files might be stored on a server in the office, perhaps they're stored on some kind of NAS device, or worse still, they might be stored on individual computers and laptops. If that is the case, then you should consider moving all your files and folders to a nice cloud-based file system. In this scenario, you should consider something like SharePoint, which is part of the Microsoft 365 subscription. And my third tip is all about your business telephone system. How can you make that more flexible for your business? Now, if there is a second wave of this pandemic, or you decide you don't want an office, then you don't want your customers and your team members to start calling people on the mobiles. This isn't practical and it's not professional. So what you should be considering is a good cloud-based telephone system. You've got a few options here. You could use a UK provider like Gamma, or you could utilise Microsoft Teams, which is also part of the 365 subscription. This will give your business the flexibility it needs to be able to communicate cost effectively with customers and team members. Now my fourth tip is all about security, and this is a big one. When people are working outside of the office, different security challenges are presented, and it's really important that your business doesn't end up with weaker IT security just because everyone is home working. Often when people are working outside the office, they're connecting to different internet connections, and these might not be as secure as the one based at the office. In this situation, everybody should use a cloud-based VPN connection. This means that when people are connecting to these internet connections, their connection is encrypted. And believe me, that's a good thing. And of course, when people are working remotely, it usually means that people are using portable devices like laptops. Now, laptops can be more easily lost or stolen, so it's really important that every laptop within your business has its hard drive encrypted. This means that if one of your team accidentally leaves their laptop in the back of a taxi, the data on the hard drive cannot be accessed. Windows 10 has a feature called BitLocker, and this enables you to encrypt the hard drive of the laptop. And guess what? It's free. So there you have it. There's just a handful of tips to help you plan your technology post-lockdown. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to my channel? I publish twice a week, every Tuesday and every Friday.